This is how I got an investor to put in 10 times the amount he originally offered with just one single question. When I was growing my company about 3 years ago, we were looking for investors. We really needed capital to grow the business, and we were growing super fast. And the faster that you grow, the more capital you need to support that growth. So every dollar that came in, we really could use. And this investor, I had been pitching him for several months, and eventually he came around and he said, you know what? You guys are killing it. I want to put in $100,000. And I was so happy to hear that. You know, $100,000 is a lot of money. For me, even if someone puts in $1 or $10 million, it doesn't matter. It's still money that's coming in. It's still people's hard-earned money that they're investing in your company because they believe in you. If they didn't believe in you, whether it's $1 or $100 million, it's not worth putting into it, right? Because it's gonna go to zero. You're never gonna see that money again. So it's all appreciated. But I really thought that I could take this guy to the next level. So, you know, I was feeling really energized that day. I was feeling excited about the business, and I felt like we can do more. So I just had that reaction in that moment. I don't know what caused me to have it. You know, it's something that I haven't really done exactly that way in the past. You know, I've been bold maybe in other ways, but I told him, listen, thank you for the 100,000, but you need to add another zero onto that 100,000. And he hung up the phone, and I immediately went from being elated, excited, grateful, you know, just counting that money coming into the bank. You know, as you do, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, because honestly, I've learned in many other instances that even when people tell you that the money is coming in, until it hits the account, it's not really in. But anyways, I was excited. Someone tells you they're gonna invest $100,000. The feeling is like, it's a rush, right? It's a high. And I went from being super high to super low in an instant. And in that instant, I was terrified. I thought, what did I do? Are we gonna lose this investor? Is he pulling out because he thinks I'm too cocky? Or, you know, what just happened? And I sat like that in despair for 10 minutes, just sitting in my office, not talking to anyone, not telling anyone what had just happened, because I was terrified that I had just lost $100,000. And 10 minutes later, to the dot, he calls me back. He said, I love what you guys are doing. I love the confidence. I'll do the $1 million. He went from $100,000 to $1 million. That's $900,000 additional investment with one single question of just asking him to add another zero, right? It's a very simple question, but it's a huge question. Some people would say it's a little bit like beyond, you know, what's comfortable or what's normal to ask of someone that's offering you to invest $100,000. It's a lot of money. But that one single question was so valuable, right? To be exact, it was worth an additional $900,000. And I went from being high to being low to being on cloud nine. You know, I tried to hold it in. I said, thank you. We're not gonna let you down. I tried to hold in my excitement as much as possible, not to be overly giddy and to be a little bit grounded on the call. It was really hard to do. Right after I got off the call, after a minute, I literally jumped out of my seat, ran across to my co-founder's office and told him what had happened. And he had the same exact reaction. He was so excited. He was so happy. You know, we could really use that money to do so many things with the business, to hire new people, to take advantage of new partnerships, to buy more inventory, to get into new retailers. So we knew with $100,000, maybe we can make $1 million, but with $1 million, we can make another 10 million, right? And so it all scales up. And the more resources that you have at your fingertips, the more you can do with it. If you're smart, if you're thoughtful, and if you do it in a very meticulous way. And so the world was our oyster, and we took that money and, you know, a few months later, did a much larger fundraise, did a much larger round, and just continued to grow and grow and grow from there. But that lesson, that experience taught me so much. It taught me to push beyond my comfort zone when it comes to my conversations. It taught me and it reminded me how important it is to really believe in what you're doing, believe in yourself, remember that you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into whatever project you're working on, whatever mission you're driving, whatever purpose you have. And that's the ultimate sacrifice, is your time, your energy, your mental peace. You know, all of this stuff is going into driving a single focused, operation, brand, business. So while money is very valuable, while money is very important, no business, no company can succeed without the people. And the most valuable type of capital at the end of the day is human capital. I mean, Elon Musk even says it very clearly. He's like, when you have money, the best use of that money is actually to hire people, right? So it all comes back to humans at the end of the day. A company is very simply just a group of humans that are trying to accomplish something, trying to build something together. So while the money is important, remember, they're investing in you. In this case, they were investing in us, right? And so remember also that's, sacrifice that you're making on a day-to-day basis. If you're building a company, building an organization, and looking for investors, the ultimate sacrifice is not the capital. Money comes and goes, you don't die with it. The real sacrifice is your time, your energy, your blood, sweat, and tears, the stressful nights that you lay awake, thinking about how you're going to take on the next day. Keep charging forward and keep your head up and be bold in all of your endeavors. Be assertive, put yourself out there, and you just might turn $1 into $10, 100,000 into a million into 10, and onwards and upwards.